Hey everyone. Quick question. Do you understand English, but freeze when it's time to speak? You read books, watch movies, and listen to songs, and it all makes sense. But when it's your turn to talk, it's like your mind goes blank. Well, don't worry. You're definitely not alone. And today, I'm going to help you fix this problem for good. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to start speaking English with confidence. So stick with me, because I've got some awesome tips that are going to change your approach to speaking English. Why you can understand, but can't speak. Let's get right to it. Why is it so easy to understand English, but so hard to actually speak it? The answer is pretty simple. Understanding is passive, while speaking is active. When you're listening or reading, you're just receiving information. But when you need to speak, your brain has to do much more. It has to put words together, think about grammar, and make sure everything sounds right. Think of it like watching a basketball game versus playing in one. When you're watching, it's easy to follow along. You just sit back and enjoy. But playing the game? That's a whole different level of challenge. Speaking English is just like playing a game. You need to jump in, practice, and get used to being active. Overcoming the fear of mistakes. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest hurdles, the fear of making mistakes. This fear is the number one reason many people hold back from speaking English. You might think, what if I say something wrong? Or, what if people laugh at me? But here's the truth. No one really cares if you make mistakes. In fact, making mistakes is a good thing. It shows that you're learning. Think of learning English like learning to ride a bike. When you first started, you probably fell a few times. But did you give up? Of course not. The same goes for English. Every mistake you make is just one step closer to fluency. So, let go of that fear and start speaking, even if it's not perfect. The problem with mental translation. Another huge obstacle many learners face is mental translation. This happens when you think in your native language and try to translate everything into English before you speak. It slows you down and makes speaking feel exhausting. That's why it's so tough. Here's the solution. Stop translating in your head. Instead, try to think in English. I know that sounds tricky, but you can do it. Start by narrating your day in English. For example, if you're cooking dinner, say out loud, "I'm cooking dinner." Or, if you're walking to the park, say, "I'm walking to the park." It sounds simple, but it helps your brain get used to thinking directly in English. Daily practice is key. Here's something you need to know. Practice is the key to speaking English fluently, and you need to practice every day. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I don't have anyone to practice with. That's totally fine. You don't need a partner to practice speaking. you can practice on your own. One of the best ways to practice is by talking to yourself. Yes, I know it sounds funny, but it works. Stand in front of a mirror and have a conversation with yourself. Introduce yourself as if you're meeting someone new, or talk about your day. This builds confidence and gets you comfortable with speaking out loud. Another great idea is to record yourself speaking. This allows you to track your progress and see how you can improve. Plus, when you listen back to yourself, you can catch things like pronunciation and intonation that you might not notice in the moment. Mimic native speakers for fluency. Here's a fun tip. One of the best ways to improve your fluency is by mimicking native speakers. Have you ever watched a TV show or a movie and thought, I wish I could talk like that? Well, you can. All you need to do is copy how they speak. Pick a line from your favorite show or movie and repeat it, just like the actor says it. Focus on their pronunciation, rhythm, and even their facial expressions. Try to match it as closely as possible. Not only is this a fun way to practice, but it also helps you sound more natural when you speak English. Turn passive learning into active speaking. Most people learning English spend a lot of time listening, whether it's to music, podcasts, or movies. That's great. But here's the trick. You need to turn that passive listening into active speaking. Next time you watch something in English, pause after each sentence and repeat what the character said. It forces you to practice speaking and helps you move from just listening to actively using the language. Practice anytime, anywhere. Here's the best part. You can practice speaking English anywhere. Whether you're at home, in a store, or even on the bus, there's always an opportunity to practice. For example, if you're at the grocery store, imagine how you would ask for something in English. You don't have to actually ask anyone, but you can think it through in your head. This keeps your brain in English mode. So when the time comes to actually speak, you're ready. Mistakes are part of learning. I want to remind you one more time. Making mistakes is part of learning. Don't aim for perfection. That will only hold you back. Your goal is to communicate, not to have perfect grammar. Over time, as you practice, you'll naturally improve. If you make a mistake, don't get embarrassed. Just correct yourself and move on. For example, if you say, I go to the store yesterday, don't worry. Just say, oh, I meant, I went to the store yesterday. Mistakes are normal, and everyone makes them. The more you speak, the fewer mistakes you'll make. Consistency is everything. Learning to speak English fluently isn't something that happens overnight. It takes time, effort, and regular practice. Even if you can only practice for 10 minutes a day, that's enough to make progress. The key is to be consistent. Create a simple routine for yourself. Maybe you practice speaking every morning while you're getting ready. Or maybe you take 5 minutes before bed to talk about your day in English. Little by little, you'll start to feel more comfortable speaking. So, to sum it all up, if you want to start speaking English confidently, here's what you need to do. 1. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Embrace them. 2. Stop translating in your head and start thinking in English. 3. Practice speaking every day, even if it's just to yourself. 4. Use technology and mimic native speakers to improve. 5. Build your confidence by taking small steps and using every opportunity to speak. You've got this. Speaking English is a journey, and you're already on the path. So don't wait. Start practicing today. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, make sure you don't miss the next one. We've got more exciting topics to help you practice and improve your English. See you soon.